I think at that point I'm done with the real heavy metal stuff. And I think this week, probably between the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to try to get a couple of the vintage vacuum tube amps put up on eBay, so that then I'll be down. If I can get rid of two of the amps that were commercially built, that'll leave me with a total of 4 amps that were commercially built at this point, as far as hi-fi stuff. And so yeah, I'm looking at the weight. It says weight on this thing is 10 pounds. And the neat thing about Bruce is, so far, whenever I've had a problem with any of the units, he's been like, go ahead and send it back, and you pay the shipping, which round trip is about $120, and he's fixed the stuff without charging anything for it. Just his thing has been, just send it to me and I'll work on it. I don't know if all of that's changed, because about 3 months ago he had a minor stroke, and I actually had a email exchange with him the other day, and he avoided answering the question of how are you, so I responded to his response of, dude, I said how are you, and he did respond back that I'm a very lucky guy, and I'm doing okay. It's been a little bit of process, but he's getting through it, and so forth. So 3 minutes there. I just had this Warren and I talked about pressing this timer into service a long time ago, and I finally did it a year ago. It's an old radio system studio timer, and when I hit my foot switch and transmit, it resets that. So I've been blathering now for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. K1GMM, K2XAM.
Okay, let me start the timer. This is kind of funny. I've had to adjust 10 pounds. Holy crap! Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen an ACOM 2000 or worked with one. Oh my God, dude! The transformer alone, of course, it comes in 2 pieces. It's enormous. It's not like some of the old boat anchor stuff. But, oh my God, working with that, just getting the transformer, you should have seen the support that I had to construct for it out of 2x4s. I didn't have anything that would actually hold that amplifier. Yeah, I'm telling you what, dude, I'm going to die, and that amp is never going to move. It's in the other room, and it ain't moving, so I'm at 45 seconds right now. So I'll close that one off. So I feel your pain. 10 pounds, that's incredible. What the heck else was... Oh, yeah, this is kind of funny, and then I'll tie it off. So I've had to make an adjustment. I've always said, and I started using this stopwatch. It's a virtual stopwatch. It runs on the display, one of the displays on the computer. And I started using this, I don't know, about a year ago. And my belief is anything that takes longer than 60 seconds to say ain't worth saying. So if you can't tie everything off in 60 seconds, then, you're talking just to hear yourself talk. So I'm at a minute and 30 seconds. So I've had to adjust that on AM because you go deep on AM, and it's fun. So I try to stick to, when you're on a repeater, you got generally repeaters are set to 3 minutes, so I try to do that. So I'm coming up to 2 minutes now, and I'm trying to tighten it up to 2 minutes, so people don't freaking fall asleep, man. Anyways, go ahead. Go ahead, Paul. 2 minutes. K1GMM.
N2LJO. GMM. KC2CKO back here. Well, I looked at that, and when you said a rack high, I thought talking like a 19-inch wide rack by like 10 or 12 inches high, and boy, that thing is absolutely nothing. So I guess the only thing, I didn't take that close a look to see what it needs for a power supply. Probably a pretty hefty power supply running that wattage. So, but not bad. Just amazing. So, and you said it tends to blow transistors. I guess somebody came up with a retrofit on that, but that looks pretty darn neat. pretty darn neat. I'm going to have to do some more looking at that, just for something to pass time. At that, back to the group. KC2CKO, over.
N2LJO.
And George recognized. Good morning, George. Hope you're doing well this morning. So I think George and Chris and myself, we all kind of decided on about 3 minutes. 3 minutes is a good time for us to not go much beyond. But we all do, I think, from time to time. And so forth. And part of that was because I still work and George still works, and Paul, to some extent, even though he says he's retired, still works. And Chris is retired, but Chris, I think, does more work than all of us combined. With all of the projects and stuff that he's always working on and so forth. So the whole idea was, if we kept it to like maybe 2 to 3 minutes, we would all get a chance to get in here before we all got to get on our way and get going. And I got to get on my way and get going as well, so I may end up making this one my last one. But, Paul, the thing is 2 rack units high, so it's about, I don't know what a rack unit is, 1 1/4 inch, so around 3 inches tall. Power supply's built in, runs off of a computer power cord. The three-wire standard good old computer-style plug, IEC plug, I think they call them. And, what you need to do. Now, I hope I'm not jinxing myself. I have never blown a transistor. Jamie is the one that blows transistors, and it's because the antenna at the shop is intermittent, and it's too intermittent. A lot of times you'll get all tuned up and it'll all look good, and then one of the splices, lets go or arcs or something, and the DIY rigs don't like that. And they need to have good audio. You got to spend the money and actually have an audio processor, a good negative peak limiter. And that was something I had discussed with Bruce prior to ever buying it. The conversation kind of went like, in the email of like, hey, can I use an Orban 9200 on this? And he writes back, yeah, no problem. And I go, what's your feeling on putting an isolation transformer in between the Orban and the DIY rig? And he says that's just good engineering practice, which I agree with. I've done broadcast engineering for a majority of my life, and there's 2 schools of thought. One of them is never ever put an audio transformer in anywhere, and I disagree with that. And the other one is use one when you need one, and that I agree with. And places you need them is when you're interfacing with phone lines. Other places you need them is when you're interfacing balanced equipment with unbalanced equipment. And the DIY is a unbalanced input. Anyway, 3 minutes. Over to George. If everybody's real quick, I'll be in here for one more, but at 7:30 I'm getting up and walking out. N2LJO, K2XAM in the group. Good morning, George and Gracie.
Yeah. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Paul. I've been listening for a while I was in the kitchen. I had to actually make coffee. Gracie actually was away for the weekend. She went down to see one of her childhood friends in Florida, and she actually went down, was it Thursday night? I took her to the airport, and that was another story. They went on like a little, 2.5, 3-day cruise or something. I was teasing her, a 3-hour cruise. Anyway, so I was just went to Gracie today, and I was so mad at her the other night. Took 2.5 hours to get to the airport. Who the hell schedules a flight at 7:30 when you have to travel, 60 miles and go through rush hour? But in any event,